Welcome to this Wednesday Word of Encouragement. My name is Pastor Peter Mariga, coming to you from Kenya Indie Ministries here in Indianapolis. We're going to find our reading today from the book of Matthew chapter 2 and the first verses here. We're going to hear about this wise man who came looking for the newborn king. Verse 1 says, "Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him." The word that I want us to dwell on today is worship. From the get-go, we see the desire of this wise man was nothing else but to give their worship to the king, to honor this newborn. And as we have read this story many times, it is clear to see that it caught the king unaware. King Herod was surprised by the news, and the Bible says very clearly that he was troubled. Worship is a tremendous weapon. Worship is a powerful weapon, and it can change. It can bring a tremendous change in one's life. So what is worship? Worship is when we surrender to God, when we say yes to His will, when we say, not my will, but yours be done. What I see is God's desire is to change a person. And before He changes the surrounding, God likes to change the people. And we see that clearly on various engagement and moments when Christ was in the ministry of Christ. When He met the Samaritan woman at the well, the Bible says that the engagement led the woman to understand her situation, to dig deep into who she was. And she was able to identify where she was wrong. And that's why the Bible says that she ran to the city and started calling on the neighbors and say, "Come and see a man who has told everything about me." And worship changes a person when it's done out of genuineness, when you come and do it out of obedience, an act of obedience. And if you remember Paul, so before he was Paul, his name was Saul. And he was on his way to Damascus to do what he did best, and that was to persecute the church. But the encounter with Christ turned him around, changed his personal life, and he became a world changer. Sometimes we worry so much about what's happening around us. We worry about the world, the evil that is in the world. We worry about what is happening to how the families are breaking down. We worry about how the cities and the states, things are going, bad. But we forget the problem is not the city. The problem is not the marriage. The problem is not your child. The problem is man. And until you have that encounter with Christ, until you have that personal touch whereby you bend your will to his will, and that's when you're going to realize the power of worship. And that's what these wise men came to do. They came with one purpose, and that was to worship the King. And I encourage you this week to make up your mind to bend your will to his will, so that even when you go through crisis, you will not be broken, but he will walk with you in a crisis as you give him the best, and that is your worship, your obedience. The Lord bless you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed Christmas.
Bwana Yesu mkuu.